So if you are like me, you quite often want to stream to multiple destinations and not just to one of them, like just Facebook or just YouTube or just Twitch. And while there are other ways to do this, like Restream or Streamlabs Prime, maybe you don't want to use Restream. Word has it that Facebook actually detects it's from Restream and don't give it as a high rank as it would otherwise if the stream would have come from somewhere else. I don't know if that is true, but that's what I heard. But maybe you don't want to use Restream from other reasons. A great solution is to use vmix. If you're using OBS, there's a couple of solutions to stream to multiple destinations, but that is only for Windows and maybe Linux, I don't know. But I have a Mac. You could use the program Wirecast, which is really good, to also stream to multiple destinations. But maybe you're using one of these. I'm Christopher Albeck. It's actually pronounced Christopher Albeck. And we are going to look into this solution called nginx. Maybe you have seen it before, like I have, but all the tutorials are for Windows or for Linux. But as I said, I got a Mac. So what do we do? Let's dive right in. So I have found some tutorials on how to install nginx on a Mac, but only for doing the web stuff, not for the RTMP module, which we need right now. So I'm going to assume that you already know how to stream from your device, whether it would be OBS or this Atem Mini Pro or wherever you would stream from. So let's see what nginx would do for us. But before I show how to install the nginx module and the other stuff we need to do, let's look into what it is and what it does. So I would say that if you already know about nginx and what it does, you can just skip this intro and go straight into the installation process. Normally, we would stream from OBS, the Atem Mini Pro or Wirecast or from wherever you would stream from. And you would stream to either Twitch, either YouTube, or either Facebook. But now you want to stream to multiple destinations. And for that, we're going to use the nginx. Now, nginx is a server and it does a lot of stuff. It does HTTP, it does mail, it is quite versatile. And we can also use an RTMP module to make it an RTMP server. Maybe you have seen when you are writing the address to Twitch or YouTube or Facebook that it says RTMP. Well, they have an RTMP server. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to set up an RTMP server, just like YouTube and Facebook, but way more simplified. So we're going to stream from your device, whether it would be OBS or Atem Mini Pro or whatever. We're not going to stream straight to YouTube or wherever you want to stream to. We're going to actually stream to our own nginx server with the RTMP module. And we're going to tell the nginx server to shoot away that stream to the destinations of our choice. And in that way, we can do multiple destinations. Now, there is a problem which we will need to bypass, and that is that Facebook does not do RTMP anymore. It hasn't for the last year or so. Facebook does RTMP-S, which is a secure RTMP. So where you a couple of years ago could just put the Facebook address right here, it does not work anymore. Facebook does not accept it. So we will need to make our usual RTMP stream secure, and we do that through Stunnel. It's a little tricky, but we will walk that through, and that will become RTMP-S. So we're streaming from our device to nginx, which bumps away the stream to multiple destinations. And for Facebook, if you want that, we're going to bump it away to Stunnel, which is also on our computer, which we also will install to Facebook. And that'll work just great. All right, so let's install nginx and Stunnel. nginx is what you need to stream to multiple destinations, and Stunnel is what you need if you also want to stream to Facebook or any other destination that requires RTMP-S, the secure way of doing RTMP. To do this, I'm going to use bbedit right here. You can download it at barebones.com, and there's a free download of that. I also think it is on the App Store, so you can get it from there as well. This is way better than a usual text editor because you will like it. Now nginx is a server which is very lightweight. It has no graphical interface, no preference on settings like you're used to. So we're going to use the terminal to install it, and we're also going to use bb-edit to do our settings. Maybe you feel a bit intimidated and afraid, you don't know what nginx is. Is it safe to install it on my computer? But let me tell you that nginx is one of the most used servers in the world, along with Apache. So to install nginx, we will need Homebrew. Homebrew is a package installer that lets you install stuff with the terminal way easier than it would otherwise. So you just go to brew.sh and you have the installation process right on the front page. You click copy and you go to your terminal, you paste it and hit enter. Now this will require your password, and the password won't show, but just type and hit enter. And now you see all this text. It will install a whole bunch of stuff. It will create a couple of new directories, and we like that. Just hit enter and continue. Now this process will take a while. All right, so just make sure everything is up to date. We can hit brew update. It should be all fine, but let's just do it. So I found the solution after a while, and it appears that I happened to not read the instructions. Please do read the instructions. I didn't. I messed up 45 minutes. So what I missed was this little thing. On my Mac, it's a Mac Mini M1 with Big Sur. For some reason, as it says, Homebrew is not in the path it should be, really. The terminal doesn't find it unless I do what it says. Next steps, add Homebrew to your path, which I want. So I can just write Homebrew. You see here, I wrote Homebrew update, the C shell. This is a command doing what it should do. Not found, brew. So add it to the path so it will be found. Copy this text if you have it. Depends on your computer, your Mac, your installation. Copy this, run it, and it will create a file for the C shell. So it will find brew, and all of a sudden this happens. Brew help. Let's see. Boom, it worked. Let's do brew update as I wanted to from the beginning, and it's done. Great. So just a quick thing, Homebrew has a lot of packages which you could use to do all kinds of stuff. It's just a whole ton of stuff. Some of these things you might know of, they might make your life easier. I have no clue what all these stuff are. And here we have nginx, which you can install from brew. However, this installation of brew, you'd run this command, brew install nginx. Don't do it, because this package from Homebrew does not include the RTMP module, which we will need. So we'll get nginx from another place. Let's just write clear, get a fresh page, and you will have all these instructions below. Brew, tap, denji. So this is a place where brew can get stuff. /homebrew-nginx. And we'll hit enter. And all done. So great, now we have nginx on a computer, but it is not installed. So write brew space install space nginx-full space dash with -rtmp-module. This will install nginx with the RTMP module. Hit enter. So to run nginx, I usually write sudo nginx. Now it says here that I don't have to do that, so maybe it's something different on this computer, but I'll just do that, hit my password, and we should be running. It doesn't say anything else, but it is running. Let's go into the activity monitor and look for nginx. And here we go. You got 2 instances of nginx running, and it takes no CPU at all. All right, so now we also need to install Stunnel. So we just write brew install Stunnel. Great. So we just write clear to make a fresh page. And to start Stunnel, we don't have to run the sudo command. Just write Stunnel. Right, so Stunnel needs some stuff to run, so we'll fix that. So now we will go to the homebrew folder and go here and write opt. I like to do it as columns, so we'll see where we're at. Homebrew installs some different places on different computers. I have no idea why, but in this case, it's in the opt directory. Among other computers which I have installed this to, nginx and homebrew has been installed in the user directory, which is hidden, which you can see here, and it's been in local, but here it's empty. So I don't know if this is different from Big Sur or whatever, but just check where your homebrew is. So we go in here. I'm going to make my directories and files using the terminal, but I want to monitor that having the Finder open as well. As you see here, it doesn't find this file because for some reason the installation hasn't created that file. Let's see. So opt homebrew etc. We're in opt homebrew etc. Go into Stunnel, and the stunnel.conf isn't just there. So let's go to the same place with the terminal. Go to cd, which is change directory, opt homebrew etc stunnel, like that. You can do a ls, which is a list. You will see stunnel.conf sample and stunnel.pem. Same thing here. So now we know with the ls command, and we saw these stuff, we know if you're unsure that we are in this file. So I'm going to create a file. I'll do that with the echo command, stunnel.conf, because that is what it wanted. And all of a sudden, this file appeared. And you can edit these files in the terminal, but I don't know how to do that. So I will just open that with bbedit. Great, bbedit. So in the stunnel.conf file, I just copied this text, and you will have it in the instructions as well below. And this is what I found online. Now I have hashtagged these stuff out. I kept them for, well, I just want to be sure. Maybe I need it sometime else. These two, set user ID, Stunnel, and set group ID, gid. I think this is only for Linux. I don't know why you don't need to have this in Mac OS. When I first installed Stunnel on my other Mac, I ran into a whole ton of problems, and eventually took a number of hours. I hashtagged these stuff out. Hashtag makes it a comment, so I'll just keep them. I keep them here for history. But yeah, this is how it worked. Hit save. Now you'll also see that this will output a file that we don't have yet, stunnel.log. So this time I will need to edit my stuff here because I am in another directory, opt homebrew. This folder, in the log files, we will need a log, and I write make directory mkdir stunnel, and here we go. We got a right cd stunnel. Here we go, and echo stunnel.log. Here we go, stunnel.log. This is empty, but this is just what Stunnel needs. You also see that it will include conf.d, and this does not exist. And this is a directory, so we'll go back to cd. Well, actually, we need to change this as well. Opt homebrew, because this is where Stunnel and homebrew is included on this computer. It's very tricky. So yeah, but you just need to find where homebrew is on your computer. So opt homebrew etc stunnel conf. So let's just go there. Opt homebrew etc stunnel ls, we'll see all the different stuff, make directory conf.d. And here you have this folder all of a sudden, which is empty. And cd conf.d will create a file in here. Echo, echo, and this file will have some text in it. Facebook fb.conf. So here is where some magic will happen. Open with bb-edit. It's empty, and I will paste my text in here, which you also will find in the description. So comment, Facebook Live, client, yeah, it is a client. This is where Stunnel listens. This is where some magic will happen. So it listens and accepts on this IP number. This is the local stuff. Wherever you see 127.0.0.1, that is your local computer. It's nowhere else but local. And here's the port number, 19350, where it listens to. And whatever happens with this, whatever comes into this, it will connect to live API-s facebook.com and the port number. And you might have seen this in the Facebook addresses. Let's go to Facebook. So if you are on Facebook right here, you see the same, right? That is the same thing that goes on here. So it connects to that one. And that is how you go from straight RTMP to RTMP-S. So now Stunnel is set up, hopefully. Let's set up nginx as well. So to set up nginx, you will need to find the nginx.conf file. And on my computer, it is on the, as in homebrew, it's in the opt folder, homebrew, etc, nginx, and nginx.conf. It might be somewhere else on your computer, but you will need to find etc, nginx, and nginx.conf. And I'll open that with bb-edit. Now we see a lot of stuff happening. So this is your preference window. This is how user graphical interface it will get. It's only pure text. So you have HTTP, and so it is a server. As soon as you open nginx, you will open up a server. You can edit that as well if you like. I don't want to do that right now. And we will need to do some more stuff here. So you'll go to the very bottom, and you'll paste this text. So what happens here is that you have the RTMP module, and it is a server. It listens to this port, and you can have different applications. You can have as many applications as you want. And I'll see that I will need some more of these guys to close up this as well. So as I said, you can have as many applications as you want. And so to see what's going on here and what's going to go on here, before I explain the other stuff, if we go to OBS and the settings and stream, you will have the custom here, or wherever you send from, but it's going to be RTMP:// your IP number. And if you're coming from another computer, going into this computer, you will need to find which IP number you have on this network. You can also do this from the internet, but then you will need to set up your router with some port numbers. But right now I'm going to do this locally. So it's 127.0.0.1/ my application. And right here I have one heart, and that's it. And then you'll need a stream key, or actually you won't need a stream key. I'll just hit 1, 2, 3, but this is if you want to find your stream, for example, from VLC, the link will be 1/123. So that is where you find it on another computer. You don't do this here, but if you go into VLC, this is the address to the stream, because you have one heart and you have 1, 2, 3, or whatever you do here, like stream key. You could do that as well. And you go into VLC and find that if you need to find and route your stream key. I'll just hit 1, 2, 3. This will not be used like outside. So right here, I have this. I can have Rise Productions. Then I'll need to, right here, Rise Productions, like that. And when I start streaming, it will come to this. That is what's going to happen. And you can do several as well. You can stream from, for example, you can stream from OBS to this. You can stream from your Atem Mini to that. You can do whatever. You can do it at the same time. And when this goes on, what happens is it's live on. Well, I suppose it means it's going, and we will push the RTMP stream. So you could make a whole web page like YouTube by yourself and do that, but that is not what we're doing, right? That's a whole different story. So we're going to push the stream. If you see here at the King's Garden, we are pushing it to this address, which is rtmp://a/rtmp YouTube, and it's live too. And here's where you put your stream key. So usually, as you know, when you are streaming from Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, and you need a stream key, right? And usually go into the settings here, and you hit Twitch, it's auto, and you paste your stream key right here, right? Now we're doing this thing. This is 1, 2, 3 thing that I do. This is very local. So you don't need that. But you need to take your stream key from YouTube or wherever, and you paste it here. And there's a semicolon here. Do not forget that. This needs to be at the end, or this line will not stop, and it will just mess up everything. And my recommendation is that you have a continuous stream key, that is going to be the same stream key from every time you stream. But if you need to switch your stream key, this is the tricky thing, but you will need to go into the nginx.conf file and find this and switch your stream key right here. So I'm doing YouTube, but I'm also doing this thing, and this is actually Facebook. As you remember, Facebook could not receive a normal RTMP feed. It needs RTMP-S. So what I'm doing here is that I'm shooting the RTMP, and see here, this is local again, and it's 19350/RTMP your stream key. Now that is going to the Facebook conf, to Stunnel, which listens to 127.0.0.1:19.350, and it sends it to Facebook. See? So this is how we go about to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So let's see if this works now. This is always a bit nervous because it's so many codes that I'm not used to work with, but let's see what happens. We need to restart Stunnel and nginx. So we'll write kill all Stunnel, and so you'll write sudo nginx-s-reload. I'll start Stunnel, and now I have set up YouTube and Facebook, and both of them are waiting. So let's see if we can do something. If I go here and start streaming, it connects. Stream to Arise Productions. And what do you know? We are online on Facebook. I don't know how it's going for you, but sometimes YouTube just needs a refresh. Yes. All right. Let's just go to the activity monitor and see how much we're using on the computer. On a Mac Mini M1, we're using 0.8% of the processor, and Stunnel is using also 0.8%. So this is extremely lightweight. Let me also show you how to find this on VLC. So I am in VLC, go to Open Network, RTMP://127.0.0.1 Arise Productions. That is what I'm streaming to. That's the application I'm streaming to. And my stream key was 123. So remember, I have different stream keys to YouTube and Facebook, but I have set those in the nginx.config-file. So this is my very local stream key, and I hit open. And here we go. Oops. that looks funny. So all of a sudden, I can see my stream in VLC. And you can also do this from another computer. Just make sure you have the right IP number. And this is going on for an eternity. That's fun. And as I said, you can stream from OBS locally at the same computer, but you can also stream from other computers to this computer that you are having the nginx server on. Just make sure that you have the right IP address, and maybe you'll also need a port number. Also, you can stream from other computers or devices from outside of your home network, but then you will need to set your router to find your computer and open up. It is a little bit unsecure, maybe very unsecure, depends on who you ask, but it is possible. But you need to route your router to find your computer from outside. If you like this, please hit like and subscribe as usually. I'm not used at all to the terminal, but I had to just go through all this to make this work. And all the tutorials I've seen, they were for Windows or for Linux, but there was nothing doing all this for Mac. And I did not know if it was possible, but as you see, it is possible and you can do it as well. It is a bit tricky, but if you just make it through, make sure that you have all the code lines correct. But when you get hold of it, it's very simple and it's just running very smoothly. Just keep in mind that although this does not take any CPU consumption, it will require bandwidth. So for every stream you send out, like I'm often streaming with 5,000 kilobits per second. If I do one stream, that will be 5,000 kilobits. If I do two streams, that will be 10,000 and 15 and 20,000 and so on, depending on how many destinations you are streaming to. So just keep in mind that it will require bandwidth from your internet. And if you got a question or something, please write here. If there's anything you think I can do better, please write in the comments. If you have other solutions, please as well write that in the comments. And happy streaming.